Your no protects your yes. Every time you say no to something that doesn't align, you're saying a bigger yes to your dreams, your mental health, your priorities, and the life that you're trying to build. You're never too busy, too tired, too old, or too anything to pursue your dreams. Welcome to the Distracted Dreamer podcast, where you'll learn how to move all those never-ending distractions aside and chase your dreams with confidence. Hey there, friend. I'm your host, Carlene, and I want to welcome you back to the Distracted Dreamer podcast. First, I want to give you all a big thank you for texting me your ideas for future episodes and sharing your takeaways from the episodes that you've already listened to. So if you're like, what the heck are you talking about? I can text you? Yes, you can. There's actually a link at the top of the show notes that says send Carlene a text. So all you have to do is just click it and tell me what's going on for you. How can I support you? Or just say hi, because I love to hear from you. I can't respond to your texts, but I promise you, I personally read every single one, and no one else can see what you've sent me, so it's totally private, just between us. Okay, so go do that after this episode and let me know what you think. So I was going through some stuff in my closet, and I got to thinking about all our efforts around spring cleaning, because it is that time of year. And I do something every spring, but I don't go through every closet and every drawer. In fact, what I realized was I do a lot of purging. I love getting rid of stuff. It's incredibly cleansing for me because clutter stresses me out. I don't know. Can you relate to that? And so anyways, it got me to thinking that it's not just our stuff that needs a spring cleaning. We really need to clean out the mental clutter so that we can focus and chip away at our dreams. So with that, this episode was born. And so today we're talking about something that goes way beyond organizing your sock drawer. And we're diving into a full life spring cleaning that'll help you clear out the mental and emotional clutter that's standing between you and your biggest dreams. Now, let's be real. Spring isn't just about dusting and decluttering. It's about creating space for the life that you actually want to live. And research shows that clearing out the unnecessary can boost your mood, it can increase your energy, and it can reduce stress. But here's the twist. We're not just organizing more. We're questioning everything. So here are 4 simple steps that you can take to spring clean your way to a calm, open space, making room for what's most important to you, your dreams. So let's go through the steps. The first one is delete before you organize, or my word for this is purge. So we're going to start off talking about the obvious. The stuff we think about when we're doing our spring cleaning, those overstuffed closets, that catch-all drawer for all the stuff that doesn't have a home. You know what I'm talking about. A cluttered environment, it leads to overwhelm and stress, and it's a constant reminder that you're not on top of things. Like, look at that mess over there. I mean, why do I need to save every cute gift bag or box that comes through my door? I don't know. I've just always done it. And I need to stop doing that because I keep throwing everything away eventually. So clutter, though, isn't just stuff. Clutter is unmade decisions. It's those commitments and habits and things that you're holding on to out of guilt, out of habit, or wishful thinking. Like, I'll fit into those jeans again someday. And there's so much underneath all the stuff that's cluttering our environment, mind, and emotions. So your mission today, delete first. So whatever you want to call it, delete, purge, forget organizing. I've got a big ask here. Let's, for just the next few minutes, let's you and I forget about organizing. That word can send us into complete overwhelm. Let's simply focus on deleting, purging, burning, trashing, donating, no organizing, okay? Are you with me? Fabulous. Okay. Now, when you're going through stuff like a closet or a drawer or your garage or your storage room, ask yourself a couple questions. One of them is, what am I keeping in my life out of obligation? You know those things that were passed down to you from your grandparents? Or someone gave you a gift and you don't want to hurt their feelings? Yeah, they don't know that it's been in a box under your bed for years. And I am telling you, they aren't going to know if you get rid of it either. The next question that you can ask yourself is, what takes up space but doesn't give you any joy or doesn't move you any closer to your dreams? The next question is, would I invest in this today? So you have to ask yourself, if I wouldn't spend money on it today, then why am I still holding on to it? Ooh, that's a great question. And the answer is, it goes to the burn pile. And the last question to ask yourself is, when you have found an item, what was your first thought? And maybe you even said this thought out loud, because I do this all the time. I'm like, I completely forgot I had this. What do you know? And let me tell you something, that friend, that also goes to the burn pile. Okay? You didn't even miss it. You completely forgot you had it. Bye-bye. It's out of here. So this could be anything, your clothes or those hobby supplies from that phase that you're totally over. The key is to remove the things that take up mental and physical space before you even think about organizing or reorganizing. So forget the organizing word right now and just ask yourself those questions, and you will be amazed at the pile of stuff that you will pull out of your home and get rid of. And you don't have to do this all at the same time. Like, you don't have to go through every single closet. Do an area that has really been bugging you, an area that you see all the time and stresses you out. Just tackle that. And you are just going to feel amazing after you do it. All right. Now, step number 2 is to reclaim your most precious resource, which is your time. So what I like to do is an 80-20 time audit. So you know the 80-20 rule. Most of us waste 80% of our time doing tasks that only generate 20% of results for us. So the real issue isn't a lack of time here. It's that we are working on the wrong things. And we all do this. We fill our schedules with busy work, thinking that being busy equals being productive, when in reality, the truly impactful work often takes up just a small percentage of our day. So in order to get really clear, perform an 80-20 audit by listing everything you do in a week. I know that sounds like a lot. Maybe just do 3 days, because like a whole week, holy cow, that's a lot. Try just 3 days. And at the end of the 3 days or at the end of the week, highlight the tasks that are actually moving you forward and getting you results, and then eliminate or delegate the rest. Now, I have 2 challenges for you around this time audit. Both of these have a huge impact on freeing up time for you to focus on your dreams. And the first one, it's called the time cap method. The time cap method. And this is where you assign strict time limits to each task. Like, I'm only spending 15 minutes for emails. So you set your timer for 15 minutes, and when the 15 minutes is up, you're done with emails. Or you set 2 hours for deep work. If you're doing some deep work on your dreams or a goal that you have, 2 hours. You'll be amazed what you get done in 2 hours. So setting limits, it forces you to be more efficient rather than allowing tasks to expand to fill your day. So play around with the time cap method. Just test it out. Do an experiment. Another useful challenge is the 2-hour workday experiment. If you only had 2 hours to work on your dreams each day, what would you focus on? That's a great question. What would you focus on if you only had 2 hours to work on your dreams every day? And you might be shocked at how much you can accomplish when you're truly focused. So try it for a week and see what shifts. Chances are that you will discover that some tasks truly don't need as much time as you thought, and others don't need to be done at all. And that's where you're going to find the time. And in 2 hours, you can make huge progress on your goals and dreams. And that's a huge win. Okay, step 3 for the spring cleaning to make room for your dreams is to tame that shiny object syndrome. You have to stop saying yes. So let's get real about something. We all struggle with shiny object syndrome. How many projects have you started and then dropped because you got bored or something newer and shinier pulled your attention away? Within weeks or months, you realize the idea wasn't as brilliant in practice as it was in your head. And it's enough to drive you crazy, isn't it? And then you beat yourself up, telling yourself that you're not capable of finishing anything. So wait, what happened? Well, shiny object, my friend. Shiny object syndrome is what happened. So first, let's get this straight. We've all been there. We see a shiny object and chase it without thinking it through. And also, I want to be clear that shiny object syndrome, it isn't a medical syndrome as such, but it's a name given to a condition that's pretty common. And shiny object syndrome results in you being easily distracted, impulsive, and unable to focus on anything long enough to finish it. It's human nature. We all do it. Our attention gets pulled. And if you happen to have ADHD, your shiny object syndrome probably appears more frequently and more intensely than those who don't have ADHD. And these strategies that I'm sharing here are for ADHDers, neurotypicals, they work for everybody. You just have to make the choice to work these steps. And the problem is that all these shiny objects, they trap all of us. And you know that feeling. A new opportunity pops up and suddenly it looks amazing. So maybe it's a side hustle that promises you to make a ton of money right away. Or maybe it's a course that claims that it's going to solve all of your problems. Or maybe there's a relationship that, oh, this seems perfect. Or maybe there's that hobby that looks absolutely exciting and incredible to you. Your brain lights up and that dopamine starts flowing and you're already imagining how this is totally going to change everything. But here's the truth. Most shiny objects, they're just distractions dressed up as opportunities. So how do you know if you're caught in the shiny object trap? Look for these signs. One is that you're constantly jumping from one idea to another. Can you relate? How about you start more projects than you finish? How many unfinished projects do you have laying around? It happens. What about your excitement dies the moment something gets challenging, right? When it gets hard, you're like, I'm going to walk away. I got lots of other great ideas here that don't seem that challenging, right? What about you feel overwhelmed, but you can't stop collecting all that new potential? Like you can't stop grabbing onto all the new ideas. How about this one? Your friends and family have started to roll their eyes when you talk about your next big thing. Now, if you could say yes to any of those, you probably suffered from shiny object syndrome, and that is okay. But if you have too many ideas, I just want to tell you this. You do not need more inspiration. You need bigger blinders. You want to know why racehorses wear those blinders? It's so they don't get distracted by anything else. Seeing the other horses, there is no way they can run that race if they're focusing on the other horses. Those blinders, it narrows their focus so they only are focused on what's in front of them so they can run their best race. And that's what we have to do with our dreams. We have to put those blinders on so that we focus on what's right in front of us. If you constantly say yes to new projects, ideas, or collaborations, you might be spreading yourself too thin. Let's talk about how can we break free from this shiny object syndrome, because this is spring cleaning at its best. Let's tackle all those wonderful creative ideas that you're having. So our fear is that we're going to forget all these great ideas. And so what we need to do is we need to capture them by creating a someday maybe parking lot. So you can create a list on your phone or in a journal for all those exciting ideas that are right now. So write them down and then set a reminder to revisit it in 3 months to see if they still excite you. The truth is, most will lose their shine, and the truly important ones will still excite you later when you relook at it. And by doing this, you're preventing the knee-jerk reactions, and it ensures that only your best ideas that are most aligned with your dreams get your energy. Okay, The second thing that we want to manage when it comes to shiny object syndrome is we want to bring that impulsivity energy to a screeching halt. And the way that you can do this is you can use a 72-hour cooling off period whenever a new opportunity pops up. So don't decide right there in the moment. Give yourself 72 hours. Never, ever say yes in the moment. Write it down, sit with it, and then I want you to imagine yourself 3 months into this project or this new thing. Do you see yourself still being excited about this? If not, you know you can let it go. Now, before you say yes to anything, run every idea or opportunity through these questions. So I want you to ask yourself, does this align with my dreams and my goals? Does this move me closer to my actual dreams? How about this one? Do I have the bandwidth to do this well? Do you have the time? Do you have the energy? Do you have the focus? Another question, am I saying yes out of excitement or genuine alignment? And the last one, and you've all heard this before, what will I have to say no to in order to say yes to this? And I've just got to remind you, your no protects your yes. Every time you say no to something that doesn't align, you're saying a bigger yes to your dreams, your mental health, your priorities, and the life that you're trying to build. Okay, isn't that great? Now you know what to do about shiny object syndrome. So we're going to move on to step 4. And step 4 is super, super important. And I want you to give yourself permission to pivot on your goals. So I want you to do kind of a goal audit. And I recommend doing a goal audit every quarter to see where you're at. So what does a goal audit look like? Let me ask you, what were your goals at the beginning of the year? What have you taken action on? What's the plan for the other goals? Do you need to declutter your goals based on how life has gone the last 3 months? Letting go of goals is better than keeping them on the docket and feeling like a failure. You have permission to pivot and make new decisions on your goals. I am giving you permission to do that. Okay, so now what I'm going to invite you to do is to grab a notebook or open a fresh document if you haven't already been taking notes on this. And if you're driving, just make a promise to yourself that you will come back and revisit this so you can do a goal audit. We're going to do a complete goal audit or inventory. So the first thing to do is to recall your original goals. Hopefully you wrote them down. I had a whole episode on the power of writing down your goals. What did you set out to accomplish this year? What are those goals? What were your big dreams? Your health targets, your relationship intentions? If you didn't write them all down before, write them all down now. Every single thing that you remember that you committed to at the beginning of the year. The second thing that you want to do, now that you know what the goals were that you committed to, is I want you to do some honest tracking for how you've been doing with your goals. And for each goal, ask, have I taken any meaningful action? And you got to be brutally honest. I mean, brutally honest. And here's a little system that I use is mark each goal. Mark it green if you're making solid progress on it. Mark it yellow if you've taken some action, but you're feeling a little stuck. And mark it red if it's completely untouched. And it's okay. Don't judge it. Don't judge it. Don't be afraid to do this. We have to look at it so that we can do our spring cleaning on our goals. You will feel so much better after you do this, I promise. Now, the third part of this is you have to ask yourself the pivotal pivot questions. As you're looking at your goals, especially the ones that are yellow, but especially the red ones, you have to ask yourself, does this goal still matter to me? Another question, was this goal something I truly wanted or something I thought I should want? The third question is, has my life changed in ways that makes this goal less relevant? That happens. And finally, am I holding on to this goal out of guilt or external pressure? And you know what that means. You feel that somebody out there will be disappointed if you don't do it anymore, or you promise somebody that you would do it and you're doing it out of guilt. Okay, so those are the questions that you ask. And based on those answers, you're going to say, you know what? I probably need to pivot. So here's how you're going to declutter the goals. First of all, again, this podcast episode is your permission slip to pivot and let some things go. It's okay to let some goals go. In fact, it's more than okay. It's actually very healthy for you. So for each goal marked yellow or red, ask yourself, if I'm honest, do I still want this? Ask yourself, would achieving this goal actually make my life better? And finally, ask yourself, am I keeping this goal because it matters to me or because I'm afraid of feeling like a failure? You have to have the right motivation to keep the goal on your list. How do I actually let go of a goal? You're like, okay, I've identified some goals. I should probably purge these goals. How do I do it? Everybody has their own way of letting go of things. For me, I would write it down and then I would show it some gratitude. I know that sounds really silly, but thank it for what it taught you. You put that goal out there for a reason, and maybe you've learned something about yourself over the last 3 months since you put that on your goal list that you're like, I actually don't need that anymore. So thank that goal for teaching you whatever it is that it taught you. And then consciously release it. Just close your eyes and just say, it's okay. I'm okay letting this go. It wasn't meant for me. Something else is meant for me. And then what I want you to do is cross it out with a big bold line. Just cross it out. I know some people, they write it down on a piece of paper and maybe they throw it in the fireplace. Whatever it is that's meaningful to you. But it is okay to let go of your goals. And if you have a ritual around it, it actually feels a lot more peaceful. It doesn't feel like you're just giving up, because you're not giving up. This isn't failure. This is strategic prioritization. So this is you choosing your peace over the pressure of keeping that goal on your list. After your audit, you might have some goals that you're passionate about. You might have some goals that need some reshaping. And you might have several goals that you're ready to release. And we just talked about how to do that. And the most successful people aren't those who never change course. They're the ones brave enough to reassess, realign, and reimagine their path for the year, whatever that is. You don't have to stay on the same path, but make a conscious choice. And that's where your power is. And one more thing I really want you to remember around your goals is your goals are meant to serve you, not stress you. If a goal is creating more anxiety than motivation, it's probably time to let it go. Here's a radical idea. Just because you started something, it doesn't mean you have to finish it. Sticking with something that no longer serves you isn't commitment. It's just holding you back. So try doing a still right for future me check-in. So I want you to think about yourself in the future and find out, is this right for me going down the road? Is this right for me 5 months from now? The results of this, is this going to be good for me? And you want to ask yourself, does this goal, relationship, or commitment align with who you're becoming? Because you're becoming someone. Every day that you're working on your dreams, you're becoming somebody new. And write yourself that permission slip. Actually, write it down. I give myself permission to change my mind. It's that simple. You can change your mind. Now, here's another rule that I always have used it's called the 90-day rule. And the 90-day rule really is your friend. Because if something is stressing you out, give yourself 90 days to adjust, to reassess, or completely change course. And there's no guilt and there's no shame. It's just that 90 days is going to give you time to figure out, is this really what I want? Do I really want to let go? Remember, your dreams deserve space in your life. You need your dreams, and your dreams need you. This isn't just about spring cleaning. This is about designing a life that actually works for you. by deleting or purging before organizing, by auditing your most precious resource, your time, by saying no to all those shiny objects, and finally giving yourself permission to pivot on your goals, you're setting yourself up for more ease, creating room for your dreams so they can breathe. So which step are you tackling first? Drop me a text using the link in the show notes and let me know how you're clearing space for your dreams. I love spending time with you here. And if today's episode sparked something for you, I'd love to hear about it. Leave a review, share it with a friend, or come chat with me on Instagram. And thank you so much for tuning in. And your dreams are waiting for you. Your time is now. And I can't wait to see you in the next episode. Oh, and one more thing. This is the legal language. You know, the stuff that the lawyers put together, and they say that I need to read this to you. So here we go. This podcast is presented solely for educational and entertainment purposes. I'm just your friend. I'm not a licensed therapist. This podcast is not intended as a substitute for the advice of a physician, professional coach, psychotherapist, or other qualified professionals. Got it? Good. I will see you in the next episode.